What's up, everybody? So I just got thinking what would be a cool idea for a video, and I think if I were 18 years old, this is some of the advice that I would give my 18. Like, let's just say I just graduated high school. This is some of the advice that I would give to myself had I just graduated high school. You either need to go into trades or you need to go into the medical field. So I would tell myself, okay, look, like both of these are reward. If you're more inclined to work with your hands and you love technology, I would push you towards the trades. And if you're more office science, I would definitely push you to the medical field. And that's literally the only two things that I would push you into. I feel like any other, let's say art or media, I feel like we're at a stage with our technology where you don't need to go to school to be able to find a job in those fields. So if I wanted to be like a videographer, I would just go do video. I would create some cool stuff and then probably look for people that are hiring for that, apply and show them examples of that work. But like I said, for myself, I would just say, hey, you need to get into the trades because artificial intelligence is here and a lot of these repetitive office jobs are being taken. And one of the last things that's going to be taken are these hands-on jobs, plumbers, your electricians, even like working like roofing. Any manual labor is, if it's not ever going to get taken, if it ever does get taken, it'll be the last thing to get taken, because every scenario you deal with in a home is different. Not every house is made the same. So how can you ever create a AI? AI is like good for repetitive stuff. So just, if you're packaging the same product, you can get a robot to boom, 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 tape it up, boom. But it's not so good if you have specific scenarios. You basically need a human, to be able to diagnose those scenarios. But anyway, also, if that's not you, then I would tell you, hey, if you don't like getting dirty, you don't like working with your hands, go into the medical field. And you're going to find out that each one of these jobs is dirty in their own right. And I've actually had experience in both. I've worked in a hospital and I've worked on construction sites. And sometimes the hospital can be more dirty than some of these construction sites, or what we would assume to be dirty. So I'll just say that I had to work on a post-operation floor, and sometimes these patients would not be able to control their bowels, which, if you don't know, is their poop. So me, as the nursing assistant, would have to clean up bowel movements or bedpans. So even though you think it's not as dirty, like, it can still be dirty. And so you have to choose, like, do you want to deal with, and if you were dealing with sewers or sewage, if you were to become a plumber, like, obviously some jobs are going to have poop. That's just the way it works. Attics, you're going to have insulation, you're going to have crawl spaces. Just any of these dirty jobs, and plus, not everybody is running towards to do those jobs. Not everybody wants to do those jobs. They're dirty. They're hands-on. Everybody wants, let's just say, to do the blue-collar work. They want to be lawyers. Maybe they want to be lawyers. I don't know. What else? What else is there? I don't know. Blue-collar jobs. Office workers. But I just think we're at a stage with technology that you want to get good with your hands. And I'm going to wrap the video up by saying this. I love learning. And so I do know a little bit about everything. I know a little bit about plumbing, electrical, cable, internet, Ethernet cables. I know a little bit about, the medical field, not so much as more because I've been out of it for so long now that I kind of work with my hands and computers and things. But you just never want to stop being useful, because I'm basically the designated person that everybody calls when something goes wrong. And I might not necessarily have all the answers, but I definitely can start going in the right direction. So as long as you make yourself useful, like, you're going to be fine in this society, because you're going to find out that people need useful people, because everything has been so streamlined that I think people are becoming less useful with their hands, and they know how to do less. But if you go in that direction, and you're always going in that direction, your opportunities are endless, and people always need a useful person. So definitely, that's the advice I would give. And if I could have a more nuanced conversation, obviously if I knew more about you or about myself at that time, but if I could do it all over again, definitely pursue medical field or a trade. And that's basically it, because everything else is getting swallowed by AI, and those people are going to have to figure out something. So anyway, that's all I got.